on your life.
Yes. Hello, Care Nation. So it's a little bit different this time around. My name is Lily, and I'm here with my friend Dev Gadhvi. I think you guys know him really well. So the background about me and Dev, we did an interview back in June, and I've been following his YouTube journey all along, and I thought it would be a really good idea to put him in the hot seat and ask him questions. So I have a lot of entrepreneurial questions coming forward to Dev, and also if you guys have any questions, let us know too.
Awesome, Lily. Thank you so much for joining. I really enjoyed being on the other side and not starting this.
It's fun, right? We're reversing our roles.
Yes, absolutely. So guys, thank you so much. So for people who are joining in, we'll be doing Q&A, extensive Q&A. We thought that, hey, we've done a lot of motivation. We've done a lot of sales. Now, I think we have to have entrepreneurship, journey as well together, because I know there are a lot of people who are thinking to become an entrepreneur, or people who have already started, their journey, and they need some tweaks. So we're gonna talk about extensively half an hour, 45 minutes about your business, your ideas, your social branding, how you can reach out to more people, and we're ready to rock and roll in future. So Lily, why don't we dive right into the show, which is
Yes, we are
branding it Entrepreneur Mastermind. We will come every Wednesday around 5 o'clock Eastern. So yeah, over to you, Lily.
Nice, awesome. Speaking of entrepreneurs, we got a famous entrepreneur in the chat, Mr. Evan Carmichael. Everyone say hello. Dev, say hello.
Hey, Evan, love you. I love you. Thank you, Evan, for joining in. Let me just start my chat.
Awesome. So Evan Carmichael has a question for Dev.
Okay.
Dev, you ready?
I am ready.
What is Dev's single favorite YouTube video and why?
Ooh, single favorite YouTube video. Okay, it's gonna be hard. I think it has to be, it's hard to have one, but I love what Evan is doing. So if I have to pick one video from Evan's channel, I would pick that one which he put together, the compilation of Gary V's compilation top 10 formula. I think that was really amazing what Gary has mentioned. He mentioned something about his legacy, that his legacy is, he focuses on legacy much more than money or anything else. I think that video was amazing.
Nice. So the reason why it stood out is because he talks about legacy, or is it
Yes.
because it's Evan Carmichael's video? Which one is it?
Oh, that's bit of both.
A bit of both. All right. Well, so what is your legacy, Dave? What would you like to leave behind, or like after you're gone, or maybe after you leave the room? What is your legacy?
Wow. So my legacy, I want people to remember me as somebody who's really transformed their lives. Now, I built My Care Nation. Of course, you know it. Evan knows it. I love Evan. I've even recommended his book, Your One Word to My Care Nation. One of the follower, Ravindra, he picked up the book. He found his one word, inspire. So one thing which I want people to remember me as, that they was somebody who really touched my life and who really transformed my life. He made me come out of my comfort zone, and he pushed me, and he helped me to grow myself as an individual, and also my business. So that's one thing I want millions and millions of people to remember me like that. I have 10 million goal, but I'm gonna bump it up to 100 million, someday 1 billion.
I know you got to get that goal up. You got to get it up. 10 million doesn't seem like that much anymore, is it? That's not even the population of India.
For sure.
That's not even the population from where I come from. For those of you who don't know, I'm originally from India, and I'm from Calcutta. So that's where the connection is there as well.
Yes, absolutely. And Lily also is planning to learn Hindi more.
Yes, I know how to say one thing. I'm going to ask Dev, "Aap kaise ho?"
मैं बहुत अच्छा हूँ. Thank you.
Acha, acha. There you go. That's it. Maybe every single week my Hindi will get better, and then maybe Care Nation could write in Hindi or something.
Yeah, why don't we do this, Lily? We'll teach you one statement every week.
There you go. One statement every week.
Yeah, one statement, Hindi statement, like you already know aap kaise ho, right?
Okay. So,
Maybe at the end of the day we'll do one more statement. So we'll ask you the same thing on next week. You have to come prepared.
oh no, I have to learn a new Hindi phrase. Okay, I'll ask my parents. They speak
Yeah.
fluent Hindi actually.
Awesome, awesome.
Random Reviews has something. They said, Dev, don't forget to do the Indian head wobbling when you
Oh,
speak.
oh, okay. What happening? Happening? Happening?
Uh, hey, so Evan Carmichael has another question or suggestion. I see. I like the list of books recommended in the description of the video. I feel like an important one is missing.
Yes,
Do you know
you're
what he's
right.
talking about?
Yes, I got it. You'll have it there. You'll have it there. In fact, there are a lot of books missing, but that one definitely has to be there because it's impacting my life and it has already built Care Nation around it. So yes, got it, man.
You talk about that a lot. You talk about Care Nation a lot and how it's impacted your life. Uh, in your YouTube, and you know what? When I had the first interview with you, you were about like 600 subscribers, and now you are over 2,200, I believe. And it's
Yeah.
just a matter of a few months. What is your secret? Like, what did you do differently to expand your subscriber base? I think a lot of people want to know.
Yeah, sure, sure. I would love to share my story. I'm all about, sharing whatever I'm learning and implementing. So I think the one thing which has really helped me is I'm doing two types of videos on my channel. Number one is inspiring a lot of people to give more to the community, that's where I'm doing a lot of street vendor videos, where I'm reaching out to the street vendors and I'm trying to buy all their stuff. And in return, I just, I mean, imagine if I'm the street vendor and I'm making probably like 100 rupees in a day as a profit, and if somebody comes to me and gives me 10 times that profit in just 1 2 minutes discussion, I feel nice, and me as a giver, I feel good because it's for the hardworking individual who's inspiring us to work hard despite of all the odds. So doing those videos and putting that up on YouTube has really given me the good reach. That's number one. And of course, I did a lot of optimization as well. I figured out, okay, what is the best thing. If there's one more person, Varun Pruthi, he's also doing similar things, and I was inspired by him, in fact, to make those kind of videos. So I just try and see, okay, what is he doing, let me also replicate. And then
Mm.
of course finding the right tags, and also I'm using his name as well, right? So all my Care Nation videos, which is helping community and helping the street vendors, they start with Varun Pruthi's name, right? So Varun Pruthi inspired, and then so it's giving me the hits, which is focusing on, let's say if somebody's looking at Varun Pruthi's video, my videos will also go in recommendations, and that's how I'm getting more reach and new people are joining, not only just from India, or even from Pakistan. I got a lot of videos. So that's the one part of Care Nation which
Mm-hmm.
has really helped me grow. The second part is this is where I'm doing a lot of videos for people like myself who are born and brought up in middle class families, and people who are living in their own la la land without realizing the huge potential. So I want to make those communities powerful as well. So making the videos on social media, sales, now the entrepreneurship, and doing a lot of interviews. Uh, Both these have one thing in common, which is the consistency, right? I'm very consistent when it comes to making the Care Nation videos. At the same time, very consistent on the other channel and other platforms as well, building the social media and sales. And the consistency has, come over a period of time where reaching out to people and learning from them and implementing. So basically taking more action is I would say the basic core of why the Care Nation community has grown or why the YouTube has grown. But again, everything boils down to how much do you really care for others, and if you really care genuinely, it really comes up, and you would only grow, because when you're entering into some business or some profession, when your motive is not money, of course you need money, but it's a byproduct, then you would definitely grow. So these are the two or three things which I'm doing, which is helping me grow the YouTube.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that I think that expands beyond YouTube as well. So maybe for some people watching, they want to be YouTubers or they want to start different companies, and we're going to get into the questions in a bit. And really, so a couple of things that you mentioned that was really interesting. Number one is you look at your world through the lens of care. Like you will go to the street vendor and you'll buy everything that they have and you will put that on your YouTube channel. So really understanding what you stand for.
Yeah.
And that's number one. And then number two, you were saying you model the masters. You look at all the big YouTubers, see how they're optimizing their tools. And for people who are watching, if there is a business you want to get into, look at the people at the top of their game and try to see their path from the beginning all the way to. So for example, when I first started as a speaker, I knew I wanted to be a speaker, but I didn't really know what the path was going to be. And I looked at everyone I admired, from like 20 people, anywhere from Tony Robbins to like Oprah to Simon Sinek, all of these great people. And I looked at their path from the beginning all the way to where they are. And then that could shape your path. And number three is consistency and action. Yeah. All of the plans and everything that you do is not going to work unless you're consistent and you take action. Yeah. So Dev, how do you take action every day?
Ooh, good question.
Oh, you said you were consistent in taking action.
Well, I'm modeling a lot of great people, like, you know, Evan, Gary V. Of course, I'm a big fan of Gary V. Yeah. So how I take action, I mean, I believe in documenting more than creating a lot of things. So recently I started, you know, of course, inspiring by Daily V, I started my show, Daily Dev Gadhvi, and the first episode went live today. And all I'm doing there is I'm just documenting my journey on what am I doing on daily basis. And that is the big piece of content. You know, if you're just documenting what you're doing, and if you are building your community. So I have, again, the Care Nation is also on WhatsApp group. So I have about 700 or 800 odd people on WhatsApp. And that, again, is my lifeline, because I interact with them a lot because they are part of my inner circle. So a lot of questions come from them. And I don't have to think out of the box, okay, what video I'm going to make today? Because there are so many questions coming in. Whatever question comes, I reply to that person through a voice note, and I even make a video out of it. So, you know, it's the same piece of content. It's helping individuals, so I'm sure it can help others as well, which a lot of people have the same question. And yeah, so that's where I'm documenting. Number two, answering questions on WhatsApp and replicating that on videos. And yeah, I'm just constantly thinking, and I'm just obsessed with the thing that how I can grow and how others can grow and get inspired because of my growth. It's not just for me. I want others to grow, so that everything boils again around care. If you care for others, the content would be endless. And when you have endless content, you can distribute it you know, over a period of time. Keep doing that.
So two things that you said. Number one, you said documenting.
Yeah.
So when you talk about documenting, what are you documenting? Like your road to helping 10 million entrepreneurs? Like what are you documenting exactly?
Yes. I'm documenting my journey, right? So everything that I'm doing. So if I'm reading a book, whatever learning I had, I will summarize it, probably 1-2 points. I will share it with everybody on WhatsApp, on YouTube, and I will even make some quotes out of it. And see, there's so many good things out there, and moment you start consuming those good things, you would have your brains which will tell you more, and it will relate to your personal life. So if I'm thinking of something, go big, you know, I'm going to relate that go big with my life. How am I going big, and what has changed in my life by just that kind of thinking? It's just a random example, and I will make quote out of it. I will leave an audio note, and I'll share that, distribute, broadcast it with all my Care Nation community on WhatsApp. And even I would make probably a video out of it. And yeah, so that's the main aspect of documenting and not necessarily creating. So if you just start documenting your thoughts, whatever is coming, and relating to your life, and I think that's where you have it.
Yeah, it's something that I'm doing too with my Unlocking Lily series. When I first started as a speaker, I wanted to document my journey, just to kind of look back and see how much I have grown and share transparency with the people watching as well. But what I didn't expect out of that journey is that people are going to start taking action based on my journey, seeing that I'm going out there and doing all of these things. And honestly, that to me was a huge surprise, came out of nowhere. And also the main reason why I continue to document my journey is my things are going to change for me in the future, but really seeing the comments and seeing the inspiration that I'm providing them. And it's not because, oh, look at me, I'm so great. It's more like, I'm not so great and I'm getting better every single time. And it's okay to make failures. And then you're going to be great as you go along. And then when I look at my videos from when I started in May to now, there's a huge improvement. And I think people have seen that as well. And then it continues to go there. So documenting is very important. You mentioned. What about creating? You said documenting versus creating. What is the difference?
Well, creating is something which probably you've not heard of anywhere, and you're trying to create something out of new and out of blue. It could even mean that you may have not done that or lived it. It's more like an innovation, right? How you have your IPs. I think if you're creating something, it's going to be difficult as compared to documenting it. So maybe, you know, if I'm look, for me, the workshop which I'm doing, like sales workshop and all, those are the most thought after, and I put a lot of effort, and then I create those workshops, which is the time consuming thing. Wherein if I'm doing the sales video on YouTube, it's just documenting it. I don't know, it's a very thin line between it, but that's what my understanding. What is your opinion about it?
I think it's both very, yes, there's a fine line. You're still creating because you're documented something that you're still creating. So I don't know what exactly, like what the line in between is. I think for a lot of people that are out there that are watching, or they're starting out their businesses, or they want to become YouTubers and all of that, and they're concerned about coming across as an expert and it doesn't feel authentic to them. You know, if you're going out there, we're going to get into a little bit of the questions. Like, say, for example, you're a photographer and you're just starting out and you want to create these content for people, but you feel like, well, I feel like kind of an imposter because I just got started. So good way to get started, like to take action, is to document your process in becoming a photographer. And then eventually people are going to see you and you're going to be the authority in that world. So I think that's why documentation is important. But whether do I define it creating versus documenting, I don't know if there's like a line in between. That's how I see it.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I think we should not get too much bogged on it. You know, just the bottom line is just keep creating or documenting whatever you're doing, but make sure that you keep throwing the content, and, you know, you know, you have to be consistent. I think that's the bottom line.
Good. All right. I do have some questions for you, Dev.
Yes.
So the first one, well, the first one was my question, so we already answered that question. So speaking of photographers, so I have a question coming from Kara. So Kara says, I'm a mom of 2 beautiful boys and a wife to a loving husband. My passion is to take pictures, and I have gotten really good at it. I'm wondering how I can turn my passion into a business while keeping my balance as a mom and a wife.
Oh, I love that question. A lot of people even, you know, reached out to me, asked a similar question, and you know, they say that, hey, look, I have a family, I have responsibility, and I even work sometimes. So you know, so I don't even have time. So let me just break it down step by step. So first thing is, of course, we as individuals, we have our income sources, we have responsibility, which we cannot ignore, and then we have passion on top of that. The only reason right now you're not focusing more on passion because your money or your livelihood depends on your family and the income that you have. At the same time, as Jack Ma says, that what you do from 9 to 5 or from your regular day routine, that's good, but what's important is what you're going to do after that. How you're going to spend your time, which is probably 2 hours, 3 hours, the additional time, how are you going to use that? Are you going to use that in watching some, you know, daily soaps, or are you going to use that in your effective, you know, building your passion, building your legacy? Now I'll just take my example, right? Again, I've also started this journey, I think not been 1.5 years. and I'm still working for an organization. I still have a family. I have a lovely daughter, Ariana, and I'm have to spend time there. I have to go to my job 9 hours, but I'm not limited to only that. My hustle is real hustle if I am actually utilizing each minute every day, and I'm using my weekends. Weekends are mine. I decide what I do, and I choose to focus on my passion, and that's where most of my work is done. And what I'm doing after my job, before I hit the bed, that is again the most crucial aspect. So uh, my suggestion or my recommendation would be is focus on your passion and have a dedicated time every day, and maximize that time on weekends, but at least in everyday basis you need to have that time. And to build your business there, I think initially, I think everybody gets into uh, doing few things, but the motivation phases out, right? You need to first make sure you need to take action, and you need to build a like-minded community and people around you, right? People who are passionate about photography. It's not going to work out if you're the only one working in silos and nobody's noticing, the world is not noticing. You need to have the community of people, now be it on social media or be it in person, be it in seminars. If you have that community, they will make you excited about photography, and then you will learn a lot of things in exchange as well. Like today we're having this discussion, I'm learning a lot of things from Lily, and we are masterminding. And with the question that you're asking, even it's making me think about it. Okay, if I'm giving somebody that advice, have I implemented that? Okay, I'm even double checking that, even am I hustling? There might be some creative idea which will pop up right now, which I'm going to go and implement it. So having the network is really important. Utilizing the time that whatever you have at your disposal is important. The third important thing is try and integrate, right? It's, you can take your kids out for maybe a sightseeing or something, and you can do photography. You can shoot your kids for the photographs. You can do a lot of scenery, whatever type of photography you're interested in. You need to integrate, and that's how you maximize time. The millionaires and billionaires, they are known to integrating time and maximize time. One more thing which I want to share is try and outsource whatever you can in your life. A lot of time we get caught up in doing petty things which is probably not paying us a lot of money. We can probably use that time by outsourcing that to somebody else and focusing on our passion. So getting rid of things which are like daily chores, maybe it can be done by somebody else, and maximizing your time there, integrating your time and working on your passion by building the community. I think that is what is really key to this. And i I implement all that in my life, and that's why I'm advising this to you.
That's really good. I'm just going to echo what you said. I believe in that 100%. I think wrapping your mind around the fact that you are going to pursue your passion is a really scary thought for a lot of people, especially I know a lot of moms and I know a lot of dads, and for them, their children are their number one, and they're so concerned. They're afraid that if I pursue this passion, I'm ignoring my children, I'm ignoring my husband, and so on. And I think wrapping your mind around and having the mindset that you don't have to choose, really. It's not about one or the other. You could integrate them. And like what you said, maybe Kara could start taking beautiful pictures of her kids and putting on Instagram and generating the audience there, and then connecting with like-minded moms. Maybe there are moms out there that would love to get their kids' pictures taken by Kara. I mean, provided she wants to take pictures of people. She might want to take pictures of things and architecture and all of that. If she does want to take pictures of people, she can take pictures of other moms' kids. And then there are lots of great mom communities out there. I know where I live, there are tons of mom groups like you could go to. You could chat with other moms who might want to get pictures taken. And then maybe you start off your business charging a very minimal cost. And then the more you do, the better you get. And the more referrals you get, she can grow her business that way. Yeah. And the time, it's about quality time. It's not about, I know a lot of parents that will come home and watch TV with their kids, is that, yeah, you're spending 10 hours with your kids, but it's a quality time. And that's for anything, right? It's like me, I could be sitting in front of a computer for 16 hours, but if I'm not putting in focused time, it's really 16 hours wasted. So that's all really, really good stuff, Dev.
Yeah, no, amazing, amazing. And then yeah, you mentioned beautiful point about utilizing the social media and then commercializing it. A lot of people actually start the social media and then they give up pretty easy, thinking that, hey, I'm going to start making money in 3 months. I'm going to make money in 6 months. It's not a, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon, and I think we all know it. But if you're really passionate about it, do not focus on money right now. Just forget, if there's one thing that you can do in your whole life and you don't get even single penny for that, what would that be? If that is the photography, then you should not even worry about the money. Just keep sharing content, distributing the content. I mean, I think we all know the story of Peoples of New York, right?
Yes.
Everybody knows it, right? So what
Actually,
happened?
if for the people who don't know it, can you tell Care Nation the story about Humans of New York? Go ahead.
Yeah, Humans of New York. So Brandon was a really passionate photographer, and all he wanted to do is just take the photographs of people in New York, and he started that. He probably had one goal that, hey, I'm gonna take probably 1,000 photograph across the New York, and he started doing that, and he came across some amazing personalities, and he started sharing his their stories on Facebook. And the day when he posted some picture on Facebook, he actually got probably 60 or 70 likes just in a few minutes, and that really triggered that moment. I said, okay, great, I'm going to do that more. And that channel really grew, and he got 10 million likes over the next few years. The network grew, and he never went into this for money. He was really passionate about it. And after a certain period of time, he started his Instagram profile, and same thing happened. It just blew up. And the day when he decided to monetize all that is by writing a book about it. The moment he wrote his first book, it was not even published. It got 30,000 copies were booked, pre-booked. And you can imagine what happened. He became a multi-millionaire, and he even met Barack Obama as well. And then he published another book. So what he did is he just converted his passion. He connected people, and he started sharing their stories, not just photograph, but their stories as well on social media. And then he became a multimillionaire.
Yeah, and it seems like it wasn't the intention to begin with.
Yes.
Like you were saying before, making money was a byproduct of his
Yeah.
passion. Yeah. So how did you get started in this YouTube channel and what you're doing right now? Have you always been in this situation? Like, did something happen to you that you're like, I'm going to take action and I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I'm going to start sharing my journey with everybody.
Yeah, so for me, the life-changing moment happened, 2 years back when I picked up the book called 10X Rule by Grant Cardone.
All right.
That really made me realize that, hey, I was doing very little in life, though I was doing pretty well in those terms at that time, as compared to everybody around me. That book made me realize that so much we can do and so much potential we have. So that made me realize that, okay, then I started implementing all those learnings, and I started getting good returns. And that's when the different business trips happen. I started getting multiple business opportunities, and then I said, okay, if I'm the person who thought I was doing good, coming from a very humble family, that my dad was a truck driver. If I knew the value of hard work, but still I was living in my comfort zone and average life mindset. I know there are millions and millions of people living in the mindset. That was probably the moment when I decided, okay, I'm going to share my journey first. I'm going to become good at what I'm doing, and I'm going to document my journey. So by the time I reach where I want to be, there will be already a lot of millions of people who will be inspired. So that really actually triggered me to start documenting my channel. And YouTube is just one of them. I'm doing multiple things.
Okay, that's a month. So with you, you read a book that said 10x and it made you feel like, wow, I'm playing a very small game.
Mhm.
I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. What do you say to people who are afraid to go outside of their comfort zone? And they will say, no, I'm doing really well, but you know that they want to do more because maybe you've heard them complaining about it, whatever it is. What kind of suggestion do you give them, or what would you say to them?
Wow. So I think the first thing is self-realization is the most difficult aspect. The 90% of people, as I tell this to my Care Nation community, whoever I'm connecting newly.
Mhm.
They often say that, Dave, I don't know what I'm passionate about. That's the first thing. And the fact that, or not, you're not even thinking that what is my passion itself shows that you don't really have no idea how much potential do you have. My suggestion to them would be is, first, again, it's only very few people who will be inspired by looking at the quotes or books. When it doesn't come from within, it's very difficult for somebody to get enlightened. And my suggestion would be is, keep looking. The first thing that you should be doing in the morning uh, is wake up and write, what is my purpose? If there's one thing in the world that I should be doing, I think even Evan also probably shared in some of his videos that figuring out the passion is one of the most important aspect. First thing you should be doing is write down, what am I passionate about? If I had $1 million in my account, I had 10 million or 100 million in my account, what is it that I will be doing today?
Mhm.
Until you don't get the answer, every day start writing it, and then whatever answer comes to you, keep writing it, and then followed by, okay, what am I passionate about? I'm passionate about this, and then keep looking at it till you find it. I think this is the most difficult aspect. But if somebody gets answer to this question, the 90% of their life is sorted, because that's when truly they become unstoppable. And that's that same thing I'm going to put in my book as well, which is going to be released in a couple of months. 80% mindset, 20% skills.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm going to document my journey and how I uncovered my passion and my purpose. And it will have a formula as to, okay, what is the step-by-step thing, what are the exercises that they can do so
Mhm.
that they can become unstoppable. But truly, in crux, it's once you find your purpose, once you find your passion, then there's nobody in this planet Earth can stop you from becoming unstoppable.
That's true. And that question comes up so much. It comes up, and I've actually spoken to people about their passion, and they have flat out told me that it gives them anxiety with that question. When someone says, "Oh, what are you passionate about?" And a lot of people would say, if they are passionate about something, they will talk about what their passion is. For folks who don't know what their passion is, it makes them really uncomfortable. So for me, I'm a passionate person in general. I've always been very passionate. So my problem was trying to focus on certain things. So my journey towards passion was very different. I said yes to like a whole bunch of things,
Hmm.
like things that I was just curious about. So one of the things that really worked out for me was I was curious about dance classes. And
Yeah.
one day I signed up. I didn't know how. I signed up with two of my girlfriends. Both of them dropped out. And I was like, I don't know this Latin thing. I wasn't very good. Right? I just went in and I did it. And I loved it. I was not good in the beginning at all, but I stuck with it. And then there are other things that I tried out that didn't work. I made furniture, I made jewelry that lasted like a month. And that's it. So for people who don't know what they're passionate and it gives them like anxiety thinking about it, just start saying yes to different things. And a lot of things are not going to work out because it's not the right thing for you. But give it some time. Like immediately, if you disengage, chances are it's not your passion. But once you find it, commit your time. So I always told myself I'll commit a year to dance and see what happens. And then it turned out to be one of the best things that's ever happened to me. I have been doing it for over a decade, which is what led me to meeting Evan. And now I'm sitting in front of Dev. And that's because I followed my curiosity and I try to find what my passion was. So say yes more often, guys. And then
Yeah.
eventually you will know how to say yes to the right things and say no to the wrong things. But it takes some practice. So the
Yeah.
more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah, no, I think it's beautiful, beautiful, great point. I think, one of my friend reached out to me and he was saying that, Dave, I tried guitar, it didn't work out for me. I started the banking and financial thing, it didn't work out for me. And I did, something else as it didn't work out for me. I don't know what should I do. It seems that I'm investing my money and time, and I'm just wasting. I say, hey, buddy, nothing is wasted. Okay, one step will lead to another, and you will eventually figure out. Ask me, for somebody who invested about like $5,000 recently in affiliate marketing, only to
Mhm.
realize that it's not my passion. It was really expensive way of finding it out.
Yeah, a little bit. It's expensive, but you cut your losses. You
Yeah.
cut your losses, and the point is to learn from the process. So now
Yes.
you know I invested all this money in this type of industry, and it's not for me. Next time, maybe you won't invest as much money. Maybe you'll fail smaller and not as big of a situation.
Yeah, no, but I was happy, it made me realize it is such a, it was $1 million investment, Lily, you would not believe, because I will realize that I'm not the guy who wants to sit behind the computer doing the, AdWords and, waiting for them to encash. I'm the guy who wants to be like this, talking to people like you, amazing people like you, talking to the world, making the daily Dev Gadhvi show and all those things. I want to be in front of the show, people, not the back end guy.
The daily Dev Gadhvi show. I just saw it was released yesterday or a couple of hours ago. I saw.
Yes, yes.
Okay, what's that all about? What's the inspiration behind that?
Oh, I would say Gary Vee is the biggest inspiration, as he talks a lot, and I'm just trying to model people, right?
Yeah.
I started doing these interviews, podcasts, modeling a lot of people like Lewis House and all other big podcasters who are there. I model them, and then of course look at Gary Vee. I said, okay, he's going to do that. I'm going to document my journey as well because I know that nobody in India is doing this right now. I'm going to be the first one, first mover advantage. Nobody else is doing the podcast in India. I'm going to do that first thing. Nobody's reaching out to the, people across the globe and, bringing their knowledge and their insight and sharing it with the world. I'm going to do that. So I think inspiring from, great personalities and just modeling it.
Okay. Yeah. You seem like you have a lot of things on the go. You're a very busy person. You have your family, you have your podcast, you have your WhatsApp community, you have your YouTube community. You have all of this going on. How do you? Because for other people, this might seem completely a crazy lifestyle.
Mhm.
Like, how do you schedule yourself so that way you're efficient and you're still really positive and happy? Like you don't look tired at all. How do you manage to stay focused?
Oh, well, I think everything boils down to is this your passion and obsession? If this is your passion and obsession, can you do this 24/7? If the day when you find that out, I think everything falls in place. You find better ways to do things. For example, if you really, really want to have a great physique, you want to have a good body, you would not complain that I don't have time. You won't complain that I cannot eat on time. I'm always traveling. You will find the way out. You will go to gym, you will eat right, and you will make it happen. So same thing for me. My passion, my obsession is, I want to leave a legacy that I can inspire and empower millions. That is the single thought which actually drives me for whatever new creative ways I come up with, building the community, and doing YouTube, anything I do. I think that the core, the obsession, and giving back to the world, I think that is something which keeps me driving.
So you mentioned about time. What do you say to people who say, well, I really want to do this, but I don't have time? It's easy for you to say. You're sitting in Chicago. Look at your life. It's so good. I don't have the time to do anything. What do you say to people like that?
I said, bullshit, wake up, man. Look, if I can do it, so can you. So no, I think it's just a mere, the difference is they're not committed yet. They're not committed yet. I was talking to one of my colleague, and he also, relating back to health, every now and then, because I'm also in my body transformation phase. So he's giving me that complaint. He's giving me, not complaint, but he's giving me excuses, saying that, hey Dave, you would say that I'm making an excuse, but honestly I live in as a paying guest, and I cannot cook my own food. I work in night shift, and that's why I'm not able to go to gym. I cannot eat healthy diet. I said, that's all crap, man. It. Listen to your own voice. Do you want to have a big belly and you want to be fat and unhealthy, or do you really want to commit to it? Then I asked him just a couple of questions. Okay, can you do push-ups? He said yes. Okay, do you have running shoes? Yes. Great. Now you have nothing to complain about. Just run, or just do burpees or push-ups at home. But if you're not doing anything and then you're coming and saying that, hey Dave, I have this, I have that, then all it is just a complaint. It's just that you're not committed to getting back in shape. I think I would say the same thing, that hey, do not complain about time. You and me, and even multimillionaires and billionaire Warren Buffett's of the world, Steve Jobs, everybody had the same time, right? 24 hours. And if your excuse is that, oh, they already have loads of money and that's why they're able to do those things, then let me tell you, my friend, that they respected the time, they committed, and then they became rich. It's not the other way around. They had no money, and that's the time they valued the money the most. When they had, they valued the time the most when they had no money, and then they became who they became. So I think that's just excuse.
Yeah, I know. I agree. And it's time is like one of the excuses. It could be like, I don't have the time, I don't have the resources, I don't have the right connections. You make it happen. Like you
Yeah.
were saying, that if you are obsessed with something you really care about, you will make it happen. And I was listening to this woman. She was talking about time management, and she was saying that people who say that they don't have time, basically, when you say you don't have time, you're saying that you don't have priorities.
Oh yeah.
You will always prioritize. Like if your basement, like in Canada, we have basements in our houses. If your basement was flooded, you will clear your entire schedule just to
Yes.
fix that basement. So everything that you do, if it's a priority, you have to treat it like your basement flooding. It's, you know, if you audit most people's days, they do have time. So I love that.
Everybody has time. Yeah. No. Absolutely. Absolutely. Beautiful. Good question. Good question. Hey, I have a couple of questions for
Oh,
you
you have
now.
questions for me? Okay.
Yes. So there was one person in my care nation who reached out to me saying, "Hey, Dave, I am passionate about singing,
Mm-hmm.
and but the only thing is, I do not know how to make business around my singing because I believe you need money to build your business, which is important. So I am passionate about singing, but how do I build my business around it?"
Okay. Well, first and foremost, it's again, we go back into having the right mindset, right? We talked about this over and over again, saying that, oh, I need money to start a business, I need time to invest into my body, is having the wrong mindset. So for this person, you want to think about, you don't need the money at all. You could start small, especially someone like a singer. It's not like you're building this giant prototype that you require a lot of money in engineering and trademarking and all of that. Singing is almost, it's a service. You need your voice and you need to sing.
Yeah.
That's all you really need. So first I would focus on getting better. So for this person, how good are you? Like, are you good enough that you could start charging for your singing? Because we could all get better in everything that we do. We could get better with time, and we could start to charge more money for it. Maybe in the beginning, this person could start off by singing at their friends' birthday parties, just
Yeah.
to kind of get the exposure. I don't know where they are in their singing career. Maybe they have done CDs, maybe they're just starting out. So I'm using the example of someone who's just starting out. You could go and sing in front of your friends at a birthday party, or maybe if there are restaurants, you could just say, hey, I would really like to come and sing at your restaurant. Go and sing, and maybe they'll ask you to do it for free or at a minimal cost. Try it, do a great job, and then while you're singing, other people are going to see you singing, and then eventually they're going to ask you, well, where can I find you? Do you have a CD that I can buy? Do you have a website? Can I book you for my wedding? And then eventually start to charge for it. It's the same thing as when I started speaking. A lot of it was, I'll reach out and I'll do different speaking engagements. So recently I had a TEDx talk in America. And then while I was giving my talk, one of the audience members came to me and she says, can you come give a talk at my congregation? And that's how it all begins. So you're not going to get anywhere if you're just sitting here thinking that I need money to become a singer because I need to invest into whatever it is that they think, like a record company or hair, makeup. It starts out small and you could build from there. If you look at a lot of famous singers that are out there, they started off small. The Beatles is a great story. The Beatles, I don't know if a lot of people know this story, they started off by singing at strip clubs
Hmm.
in Hamburg, Germany. And they did that 8-hour sets over and over and over again for months on stretch. How many people are willing to do that, right? I don't know if they were getting paid a lot of money or not, but that's what gave them the practice to get better. And eventually, you know what happened with the Beatles. I don't need to
Yeah,
tell anybody. So
yeah.
don't worry about the money. Just go and pursue your passion and just do it and keep getting better with time. And people will start to recognize your talent.
Beautiful. I love that. I love that. And I completely relate to what you said, Lily, that, when people reached out to you and they're reaching out to you for the speaking engagement, I think you have people only see one TEDx talk, right? They don't see the kind of effort that you put behind that and the kind of, you know, hours that you spend on making YouTube channels, your blogs or, whatever calls or building network. People don't see that. One of the person even reached out to me and said, "Hey Dave, you're lucky that everything is coming your way." Like, I'm sure some people might have told you as well, but within us we know that, hey, it's not luck. Luck will only favor you this much, but if you're not doing this much, this much will not be there. So yeah, ever since even I started, yeah, I think the singing is as good as the talent, which is photography, or be it the speaking engagement. It's all the skills that we have. It's everything is one thing is common. You need to get into this without any expectation and keep giving back to the world and getting known, right? The first priority is not to make money. First priority is get known. If I don't know you, I cannot hire you as a singer. So get known on social media. All you need is a cell phone and yourself, as you said. You need to have your voice. You don't need investment. I think everybody has a smartphone right now, unless you're living in Stone Age. But everybody
Oh,
has a cell phone. Yeah.
yeah. If you're watching this, you have access to the internet,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely. There you go. So, just start recording, start doing live shows, start, sharing your content, reaching out to people on Instagram, search for, in people in your community, and, do a locality search, see what, singing gigs are happening. You go there, offer your service for free, build your network, and, as you rightly mentioned, people will start taking a notice, and eventually you'll make money. Like, a lot of people are reaching out to me as well for mentorship, for business consulting, for social media and sales coaching. So these opportunities will come to you, but you have to put work. Like Lily and me, we have put probably 1 years, 2 years, and we've been doing this consistently. And if you keep doing this again and again, you will have so many opportunities to work with good people.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. And people see the highlight reel of people's lives. You don't see everything that goes on behind it. It's like hundreds and thousands of hours going into it. Good.
Yeah.
Love it.
Great, great. I think the last question, I think the show first, I'm loving, the discussion. I'm really, really loving talking to you. I'm excited to talk to you every week now. So last question before we say goodbye, from my one of my new member of Care Nation. He stays in northeast part of India, and his question is, I want to start a dealership, and what is it that I should be doing to grow my business, or even start my business? So what is your suggestion for car dealership?
Good. Well, first, if you don't know where to begin, you could go and model the masters. Look at the car dealerships that are doing really well right now and see how they started off. And if you really, when you're starting out, maybe you don't have the right finances yet, because to build a car dealership, you might have to invest into a couple of cars, maybe just 2 cars and some kind of office to operate out of. If you don't feel like you have the finances yet, why don't you go work at a car dealership and try to learn from them and try to get as closely to the owner as possible and see how they operate their business and see how they work and learn the business inside out. And then once you start building a little bit more finances, you could buy a car or 2 cars and you could start a dealership there. And that's for any business that you want to get into. You might not know what to do yet. Get close to the founder of the company and learn from them as much as possible, because that way you're still making money to pay your bills. Because I understand, you can't just quit your job, drop of a hat, and start a business. You still have things to pay for. You're getting paid for it, and you're learning the business at the same time. And eventually, you could go and do your own car dealership.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you. And there's the person who has asked this question. He's got a great mindset. He's probably about 20, some early 20s, and he just connected with me in the morning today, and he asked me this
Mm.
question. But I gave him the same answer that, hey, you want to learn it, you need to be with those people. You need to everything in 24/7. What apart from your sleep, Everything that should be coming in your head is, how do I grow? Who do I reach out to? What do I do? Everything, be it videos or blogs or people, or you need to consume that day in, day out, and then you will uncover this hidden truth or secret of how you can become a good dealer. But if you're getting into this just for money, then you only have this much of passion, and you will only go this far. First, figure out if you're really passionate about car dealership, if you really love cars and that's the thing you want to do your whole life. Then you get into it and you will have unlimited energy. But otherwise, you will be probably quitting that and you'll be moving on to another thing. So I think great feedback.
Good. Nice.
Excellent, Lily. So amazing, and I look forward to listening to your TEDx talk. So I look forward to the link. I'm pretty excited.
All
So
right.
guys, thank you so much. It was really a pleasure connecting with you. I think it's a really good kickstart. So if you have questions, reach out to Lily or myself, or leave it in the comment box below, on business, your entrepreneurship, anything that you have with regards to business. Leave it in the comment box, and me and Lily, we are committed to helping you guys with whatever knowledge we have acquired. If we don't have the answer, we'll find it from you. We have a lot of people like Evan who are really masters and who are making a lot of money. We'll use all our resources to get you the answer.
Exactly. Exactly. We're resourceful people. And you know what? Signing off. And that's the thing about entrepreneurs. We're all resourceful. If we don't have the time, we'll find the time. If we don't have the money, we'll find the money. We will find the answers for all the people asking the questions too.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lily. Pleasure. Thank you for your time, and look forward to talking with you next week again.
All right. All right. Take care, Care Nation.
See ya. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.